Some new flooding updates about Clarksville and how Dunbar State Cave has been impacted. A 19-year-old is accused of shooting a 4-year-old, and a woman who came to the U.S. for a better life has died in a violent domestic attack.
We will have all that and more on this episode of APSU TV News. Welcome back to your APSU TV News. I'm Lisenby.
And I'm Baylor. The city of Clarksville announced this week it is working on several fronts to help residents directly impacted by last week's flooding. Mayor Pitts said in a statement in a city news release, quote, "We have been dealt another difficult disaster, but as always, Clarksville is resilient. We want everyone to know that we are working around the clock every day, providing and pursuing every conceivable form of flood assistance and relief that is potentially available to us," end quote. Most city streets and flooded neighborhoods have been reopened. The exception is the Woodstock subdivision, where work is ongoing around the clock to pump the floodwaters out. The city of Clarksville works closely with United Way, local nonprofits, and state and Nashville VODE organizations to assist those impacted by this disaster. Pitts also noted that the city placed dumpsters throughout flood-impacted neighborhoods over the weekend, and the city will haul those away. Our thoughts and prayers are with our Clarksville community. Flooding we saw a couple weeks ago could potentially delay the tour season at Dunbar Cave State Park and has also affected 800-year-old cave art inside the landmark. Officials tell WKRN TV that prehistoric cave art, some of the oldest in the U.S., was completely submerged, which has never happened before. Several bats within the cave drowned in the flood. Dunbar Cave State Park flooding was several feet higher than levels recorded during the historic flood of 2010. Officials say it was in the third flooding event in less than a year at the park. Boardwalks throughout the cave were damaged, with water measuring 6 feet deep under one and 8 feet deep under another boardwalk at the front of the cave. Dunbar Cave is home to Native American art from the prehistoric Mississippian era of the 14th.
A 19-year-old accused of shooting a 4-year-old boy inside of a home in Murfreesboro. The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office says U.S. Marshals arrested 19-year-old Talik Galashaw King on Tuesday. He is now facing charges of reckless endangerment, with a deadly weapon, and tampering with evidence. It happened over the weekend at a home on Tessa Grace Way. WSN-TV reports deputies found the child suffering from a gunshot wound. Medical crews rushed the 4-year-old to a Nashville hospital where he underwent surgery and is expected to survive. Investigators say Galashaw King fled the scene with the firearm before authorities arrived. He is now being held on a $60,000 bond, and more charges could be filed. A deadly shooting outside a Nashville hookah lounge ended with a violent crash, and now police have arrested 2 people they believe are responsible. The Metro Nashville Police Department says officers arrested 22-year-old Mohammed Al-Rabieh and Sadiq Al-Sahaf. WSN-TV reports surveillance footage from the night of the shooting shows the pair outside Nashville Hookah taking their victims to their vehicles. Moments later, police say Al-Rabieh is seen grabbing what appears to be an AK-style pistol from his car and begins to open fire. Authorities say the driver, 22-year-old Ahmed Amran, was shot and crashed into a law firm at the Nolensville Pike and Woodbine Street, where he died on the scene. The 2 other passengers were rushed to Vanderbilt University Medical Center. WSN-TV says an arrest affidavit reports the bullet shell casings found at the scene matched the weapon seen in the footage. Investigators say Al-Rabieh confessed to being present at the scene the night of the attack. Both men are now charged with 1 count of criminal homicide and 3 counts of attempted criminal homicide.
Authorities are investigating an officer-involved shooting at an apartment complex in Smyrna last Saturday. It happened around 2 o'clock in the morning at the 400 block of Great Circle near the Sterling at Stonecrest Apartments. The TBI says Smyrna police officers went to the complex after a report of people breaking into cars. WKRN-TV reports that officers ran after the suspected thieves. At least 1 officer fired and hit one of the people. The TBI says they are still investigating why the officer fired his weapon. Medical crews took the injured man to Vanderbilt University Medical Center for treatment. A second person got away. The TBI will not decide whether an officer's action was justified in this matter. The decision rests with District Attorneys General requesting TBI's involvement.
It's a tragedy that shakes us all. A woman who came to the U.S. for a better life has died in a violent domestic attack. Clarksville police say 34-year-old Oscarina Racon was stabbed to death early Monday morning inside of a home on Eastern Hills Drive. Officers found her body at the scene, and they found her suspected killer hiding in a nearby wooded area. Now Racon's family is speaking out. Clarksville Now reports they have posted on a GoFundMe page. They describe her as a loving person and someone whose life was tragically cut short by domestic violence. They are currently raising funds to cover funeral expenses and transport her body back to Venezuela. Police are asking anyone with information or video footage to come forward. We'll be back with the Political Corner after this short break.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro.
Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. As veterans, we can tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. But you've never been interested in easy. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Worried about your friend but don't know how to reach out?
You could say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR. It's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health.
Whatever gets you talking.
Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Hey everyone, I'm Jazmin Logan, and welcome back to the Political Corner. It has been 3 years since Russia invaded Ukraine. The day was marked by the UN passing a resolution condemning Russia for the invasion, Ukrainian President Zelensky hosting Western leaders in Kyiv, and U.S. President Donald Trump hosting France's president to discuss the Russia-Ukraine war.
Ukrainians say it's been a long 3 years.
I feel incredibly tired.
We have undergone a very big transformation.
Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky marked the 3-year anniversary by hosting European leaders at a world memorial in Kyiv. With somber expressions, the leaders placed lanterns to honor the fallen. On X, Zelensky proclaimed his, quote, eternal gratitude to the fallen heroes. He said 3 years of resistance, 3 years of gratitude, 3 years of absolute heroism of Ukrainians. In the U.S., President Donald Trump hosted a world leader of his own.
I think we should never say, I will never send any boots on the ground, because you give a blank check to violate any type of commitment.
France's president met with Trump in the Oval Office and stressed the importance of Trump standing firm against Putin. This as the U.S. joined Russia to vote against the United Nations General Assembly resolution condemning the war against Ukraine, putting the U.S. at odds with its longtime European allies. Just last week, President Trump falsely accused Ukraine of starting the war.
Instead of standing up to Putin, Donald Trump is siding with him and against our own allies. Instead of condemning Putin's lies, Donald Trump is parroting Russian misinformation.
Democrats in Washington condemning the U.S.'s about-face on the Russia-Ukraine war as Ukraine's future hangs in the balance. I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
The General Assembly passed a resolution which places the responsibility for the war on Russia and received 93 votes in favor. Russia and the United States voted against it. The U.S. doubled down by introducing a different resolution that did not call Russia the aggressor or confirm Ukraine's territorial integrity. Several amendments were made to that resolution, strengthening the language against Russia before it was voted on. The U.S. abstained from the vote. Israeli and Hamas officials have reached an agreement, exchanging hundreds of Palestinian prisoners for the remains of deceased hostages. These compromises are keeping the delicate ceasefire alive. Israel had initially delayed the release of 600 prisoners due to the alleged treatment of their hostages released by Hamas. The delay violated ceasefire and threatened the future of the second phase deal. But on Tuesday, Israel and Hamas were able to reach a resolution. Hamas chose to release hostages at public events, making them wave to the onlookers. Israel, Red Cross, and the UN officials all agree these presentations are demoralizing. White House Middle East diplomat Steve Witkoff plans to visit the region and assist both parties with moving toward the second phase. This phase would include releasing all hostages and finding a way to end the war. 6 recently fired federal workers could temporarily be back on the job soon, thanks to an independent protection board that reviews complaints by government employees. Their move is considered one of the first direct rebukes to President Donald Trump and his Department of Government Efficiency as it rapidly fires tens of thousands of employees across the federal workforce. Laura Aguirre tells us more about this once little-known board that could have a huge impact in the months ahead.
Overall, it's a travesty.
Attorney James Eisenman is the former general counsel of the U.S. Merit Systems Protection Board, or MSBP. He's been watching the recent widespread federal firings closely and agrees with the current board's 45-day reinstatement of around a half-dozen fired workers.
There's no real consideration for the impact of these firings on the agencies, on the mission of the agencies, and on the individuals themselves.
Consideration aside, legal concerns abound.
To me, it's just an assault on the rule of law.
That's what the MSPB, working with the Office of Special Counsel, will investigate over the next month and a half, representing the workers as they bring their wrongful termination cases against the Trump administration through a network of over 60 administrative judges nationwide.
The administrative judge conducts a hearing, much like a trial, except there's no jury. That decision from the judge can be appealed to the 3 board members at headquarters of the MSPB.
The initial wave of cases could be a testing ground for what's to come.
It's obviously very stressful.
This FAA employee, afraid to be identified, is among many waiting to see where DOGE downsizing strikes next.
Managers, most of the times, are not even knowing their employees are being fired. They find out from the employees.
Eisenman says the, quote, slash and burn approach to agency cuts will hurt more than the employees and their families.
More importantly, it will harm the public at some point.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
The Trump administration has signaled it wants more power over the MSPB, as it technically falls within the executive branch, despite having a level of independence granted by Congress. Thousands of probationary workers have lost their jobs already at agencies including the Forest Service, Energy and Education Departments, and the IRS, which is in the heart of tax filing season. The Agriculture Department says the current prices for eggs could continue to rise by more than 40% this year. The Trump administration shared their plan to combat bird flu and lower the cost of eggs. The USDA plans to fund another $1 billion to strengthen the biosecurity on farms. More than 160 million birds have been killed to prevent the virus from spreading. As a result, egg prices have doubled due to the outbreak. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Frollin says she hopes to see lower prices by the summertime. The administration also discussed importing about 100 million eggs from surrounding countries. The National Turkey Federation advises the USDA to focus its efforts on all egg and poultry farms instead of only egg producers. Well, that's all I have for you guys today here in the Political Corner. Stay tuned for the weather after this short break.
Black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So, yeah, I know. That's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Thanks for sticking us for the weather. I'm Michael Dangerfield. Looking at our current national temperatures, we have a pretty warmer Friday than we've been having this February. As we creep up into spring, we have New York sitting at a 49, which is our lowest. Chicago at 51. Our southeastern region of Atlanta sits at a 65. So we'll sit at about a mid 60s throughout the weekend. 62 for Denver, and then 69 for Los Angeles. Today's highs for Montgomery County, like I said, it's about a mid 60s to 63. We do have a little bit of wind speeds sitting at 13 miles, so I will look out for that, but no chance of precipitation. Today's lows, like I said, a low 60, so 61 with those high wind speeds with no chance of rain, but we do have clear skies, so if you do have any plans for tonight, I would look out for that. And then our 5-day forecast, we have Friday sitting in the sunny, and then Saturday and Sunday we'll start going into a little bit of a cold spout, and then Monday and Tuesday we'll kind of go up a little bit on Tuesday, but have a little bit of rain. The highs and lows is 67, 42 for Friday. Saturday and Sunday we're sitting at 46, 25, 43 and 30 for the lows. And then we creep into next week, we have 52 and 50, and then 65 and 55. But that's all I have for your local and national weather for today. APSU will be returning right after this with your campus sports.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
Okay.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
Yeah! Sam, Elmo!
Oh, hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Attention governors, midterms are coming up. Did you know that you can use the APSU Writing Center for help?
The center offers one-on-one consultations to help students at any stage of the writing process, from brainstorming to revisions. It's a place away from distractions so you can clear your mind and focus on your paper. The center is on the first floor in the back of the library, past Starbucks. The writing center is by appointment only, so come on down and set one up today. And remember, and always, let's go P.
Hello, I'm Hugh Wheeler. Here is the latest in Clarksville sports. Austin Peay basketball begins the Atlantic Sun Tournament on Sunday against the North Florida Ospreys in Florence, Alabama. Senior Isaac Haney led the Govs with 24 points in a 78-95 loss against Lipscomb on senior night Monday. APSU lost again on Wednesday at West Georgia, 70-73. Stashville will play again Monday at North Alabama if they beat the Ospreys on Sunday. Governors women's basketball has now lost 9 of their last 10 games with 1 game left in the regular season. Austin Peay clinched a spot in the Atlantic Sun Tournament and will play in the first round next Friday. APSU finishes the regular season tomorrow with Senior Day against Bellarmine at 2 in the afternoon in F&M Bank Arena. Clarksville's Red River Spartans lost in Game 1 of the first round of the playoffs 1-0 against the Cincinnati Cyclones last night here in Clarksville. The Spartans failed to score on 38 shots. Red River faces off in a must-win Game 2 this afternoon at 1:30. Governors Baseball swept Purdue-Fort Wayne last weekend in a 4-game series here in Clarksville. Austin Peay traveled to Middle Tennessee State on Tuesday and lost a tough one 9-10. The Govs host Eastern Illinois for a 3-game series beginning today, and MTSU comes to Clarksville for a rematch on Tuesday. Austin Peay softball is celebrating 9 wins in a row after sweeping the Furman Classic in 4 games and beating Middle Tennessee State in extra innings on Wednesday. Senior catcher Sam Lesky brought senior first baseman Kylie Campbell home with a sac fly to deep center field to walk it off in the bottom of the 8th inning. Austin Peay hosts the Governor's Classic this weekend beginning today at 3:30 in the afternoon. Governor's men's and women's golf seasons resume next week in Florida. The women traveled to Jacksonville for the Momentum Transportation UNF Collegiate Sunday. APSU's men traveled to Daytona for the Daytona Beach Invitational Monday. Austin Peay men's tennis won in Bowling Green, Kentucky last Saturday 5-2 against Alabama A&M. APSU hosts Southern Illinois tomorrow at 1 in the afternoon. APSU women's tennis lost to Middle Tennessee State last Thursday 1-6. The Govs fight again today at home against Alabama Birmingham at 1 in the afternoon. Governors Beach Volleyball won just one of their 4 matches of the year to start the year at the Grandstands tournament last weekend. Austin Peay travels again to Columbia, South Carolina to play South Carolina and Alabama Birmingham tomorrow at the Wheeler Beach Bash. Austin Peay Track and Field competes at the Atlantic Sun Indoor Championships in Louisville, Kentucky as we speak. Junior Madeline Kochik won the conference indoor triple jump title this morning. The indoor season concludes with the NCAA Indoor Championships beginning March 14th in Virginia Beach. That's all for sports. I'm Hugh Wheeler. We'll be right back with more after these messages.
Great having you. Incredible women. I wish they had those kind of cool careers for women when we were growing up.
So in this flashback, we're all the same age?
Yeah.
What does everyone want to be when they grow up?
If I say 2 jobs, do I get extra credit?
No.
I want to make immersive video games. I want to revolutionize 3D printing. I want to analyze data from the cloud.
I want to be a meteor.
You mean meteorologist?
No.
That's great, Al. Follow your dreams.
For the record, I was a baby in the 70s.
Oh, man. I can't believe I'm missing this. Okay, Grandma. I see you.
Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. It keeps you, your community, and loved ones protected. Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Welcome back with some news to hopefully brighten your day or something to fill your calendar with. When a fire breaks out, every second counts. That's why Montgomery County firefighters are stepping up their training with a brand new burn tower. The 6-story facility was unveiled in a ribbon cutting on Tuesday. It is designed to help train firefighters with fire simulations, rescuers, and high-risk scenarios in a controlled environment. Clarksville Now reports crews demonstrated window rescues, a burning remission, and extinguishing flames on a mock propane tank. Fire Chief Michael Rios says this tower will prepare fire responders for any emergency, calling it an essential asset for the county. Mayor Wes Golden, a firefighter himself, says this is a major improvement for the county, ensuring commitment for public safety and education. This new training tower also means faster, smarter, and more prepared firefighters ready to protect and save lives in the community. Mental health struggles do not discriminate, yet access to care is not always equal. Whether you turn to faith for guidance or simply need someone to talk to, a new partnership in Clarksville is working to change that. Austin Peay State University is partnering with Whispers Beyond Silent, a statewide nonprofit to bridge the gap between spiritual and mental health support. Clarksville Online says the Mental Health and Ministry Conference is set for August 1st through the 2nd at APSU Morgan University Center. The conference offers training for pastors, ministers, and church counselors on topics like depression, trauma, and addiction. Dr. Deborah Rose Wilson, Chair of Excellence in APSU School of Nursing, says the purpose is to provide a judgment-free space where spiritual leaders can learn evidence-based strategies to better support their communities. This is also a good opportunity for those who may not feel comfortable seeking help in traditional church settings. Access to mental health care remains a challenge for many, and this conference provides a much-needed resource for those seeking support, ensuring mental health conversations go beyond stigmas and pressures. Registration is now open, and for more detail, visit APSU website, apsu.edu.
What used to be your local Party City store may soon be selling books, cowboy hats, or discount merchandise. The Party Supply Chain announced in December it would be going out of business immediately and closing all locations. The company had previously filed for bankruptcy but struggled with slow sales and financial issues. We are now seeing what might become numerous Party City locations nationwide. The location leases were auctioned off Friday, February 7th, and the names of the top bidders were released in a Texas court filing. The most common top bidder is Dollar Tree, which entered the winning bid for nearly 150 former Party City locations. Dollar Tree is not the familiar discount retailer making a play for the Party City locations. Five Below, which largely sells products under $5, was the winning bidder for more than 40 leases. A hearing is to approve the transfer of leases due to the auction is scheduled to take place at the end of the month in a Houston court. On Saturday, February 15th, Cody Johnson brought his Texas spirit to Music City as part of his Leather Deluxe Tour, making the second of two sold-out shows in Nashville. He performed for a combined audience of over 13,000 fans across both nights. It's nearly impossible to compare Johnson's performance level to any artist, and he proved that over his 90-minute show. Ashley McBride was one of many special guests such as Luke Combs, Carrie Underwood, and Randy Houser. The night was unforgettable between the star-studded lineup of surprise guests and emotional moments with a sold-out crowd. All right. Well, happy Friday.
Happy Friday, everyone. I hope everybody's been enjoying this nice spring-like temperatures that we had all week.
The weather has
been amazing.
The weather's
been beautiful. I think it was up into the mid-70s a little while ago.
Yeah.
Like on
I've had my
Wednesday.
sunroof in my car open every day, and it's made me so happy.
I had to turn on like the AC in my house. It was super hot. It was super hot for me.
We have one more week until spring break. Can you believe it?
I cannot believe how fast February's been going. Like, I feel like we just started the semester and we're already 8 weeks in.
8 weeks in. Can you believe it? Do you have any spring break plans?
Well, I was actually supposed to be going to Mexico with my sister and her husband, but I failed to get my passport.
Oh, no.
So it was a little too late for that, honestly.
That's okay. Well, maybe next time. That'll be super fun.
Yeah.
I want to go to the beach. Like, I need to get on the plane right now and go.
I know Myrtle Beach is pretty good around springtime. It's not too hot, and the sand is not too hot either. I heard it was really nice this time of year.
I love like Key West. That's my favorite. Or Panama City.
Panama City Beach.
Even maybe Miami. That's really fun.
Orlando too, honestly.
Yeah.
Also, March is coming up, so that means midterms, and campus is preparing all the students, honestly, for their finals. The writing center is having something going on too, and you know, all the study sessions are going on.
Might be my favorite month. It's my birthday month, and this month,
really?
This year, actually, I turned 21, so it's kind of a big year.
Same. I turned 21 actually March 2nd. So
that's awesome. Well, let's wrap it up. That's all the time we have for today. Make sure to follow us on Facebook at APSU TV Clarksville and Instagram at APSU_TV. Thank you for watching your APSU TV news update. We'll be back next time. And as always,
let's go Peay.